I was on YouTube, Daniel, back here for another video. So I was about to go to bed, but basically wanted to share a quick reflection with you guys. Something that happened yesterday, and want to touch base essentially on the importance of this. And it is, do you have a strong enough why? So what happened essentially was, I've been posting my habits and my lifestyle more or less on my Instagram. I've gotten good responses, and actually yesterday I had someone reach out and basically ask me how I was so consistent with my habits and what I'm doing with nutrition and helping people and always showing up and never missing essentially. And we got on a call because I wanted to help this guy out. It was someone I met on a trip when I went to Argentina, and then we got into talking, and basically what I realized is as we were going along, obviously I was trying to more or less understand what he was trying to do, which is basically dominate his mind and be able to win the discipline aspect and the motivation aspect of what he's doing, what he has to do, which is not possible essentially. But one thing I realized is he didn't have a strong enough why. He mentioned basically that before, 2 years ago, he had a stint where he was able to do all the right things and basically get momentum going. And then I tried to get in the mind of why he was able to do that, and he basically mentioned that he was doing it for someone more than himself. And that's basically what I want to talk about is if you don't have a why that is beyond just you, you'll never actually be able to continue long term. So when for instance, my case with psoriasis, when I got the diagnosis, I decided to go on the journey. I could have stopped, after any kind of obstacle that was put in my way. But basically, my why was beyond me in terms of, seeing myself live drug-free with it. That was the initial goal, but the why that kept me going was essentially, one, I didn't want to lean on the healthcare system. That was something that just personally was a standard that I kept for myself. That was always a disgusting thing to let yourself be maintained by a healthcare system, especially a healthcare system that doesn't really care too much about you. So that was the two things there. I didn't want to be maintained, by doctors, stuff like that. And it just have people pity me because of what I was going through with the condition. And number two is me also realizing that it was a business and no one really cared. So those two things were the one of the reasons, or two of the reasons. And number three is I didn't want to be a burden on my family in terms of having to worry about how I am. So those are the biggest reasons. There's other ones that are going to come to mind, but I can't really think of them right now. But basically, we have to establish is reasons beyond what you want out of a situation in order to stack it against, I call it your primal brain. So for instance, for this guy, he basically wants to be able to do the right habits, things like waking up on time, taking a cold shower, hitting a proper morning routine, going to the gym, eating right, stuff like that. And what I mentioned to him was the way I see it now is your why is essentially creating a barrier, or a barrier between you and your primal brain. So your primal brain is basically its whole job is to, all it cares about is reproduction and keeping you safe. It doesn't want you to really, be uncomfortable, take risk. Basically, it's what creates fear, because fear is essentially it's not real, but essentially it's something that your brain does to not kill the old you, if that makes sense. Because it's like I said, its whole job is to keep you safe, and also its whole job is also its job is done. Sorry, when you reproduced. So what I'm basically referring to is you need to establish that that primal brain is not really in your favor, and the more you try to battle that brain, one-on-one, just you and you and the higher self you're trying to be, and that brain is eventually going to win if you don't have a strong enough reason why. So basically what your reasons do is they separate you from that primal brain more and more. So putting things above you that are your reason why. So I'll give you three right now that I recommended to him. One of them is building a community online, or having a community you already have, maybe in person. That essentially, putting yourself accountable and basically on display for these people, showing your habits you want to maintain. Once you set that standard for people around you, and like them seeing you do something and you stop all of a sudden, you let these people down because I bet you start to inspire some people and you get comments like I have on my Instagram, and basically now it's more or less me doing it for them and continue doing it for them, because there's many days I don't want to wake up and do the things I want to do. Not many days, but there's some days, and what keeps me going is doing it for those people, not letting them down, hitting my wake up time, hitting my habits, stuff like that. So those people know that I'm still there and I'm something that they can look up to in terms of inspiration. Number two, one thing I found as well is doing it for your younger self. So as you get older, you can always kind of look back to you as a kid, and always, you always had visions of like looking up to certain people and like envisioning what your life would be, more or less, or like your heroes would be. So basically, we get to a point when if you develop yourself enough and you're doing the right things daily, you actually grow into that person you've always wanted to be, or you're getting close to that. So basically, if you stop doing the right things, you basically let that younger version of you down. Is that something you want to do? Like, is that something that you're okay with doing? Basically, you have this connection with that little you, and it's basically like a part of your heart, as weird as that sounds, but basically if you're able to realize that and connect with that more and more, you're doing it for something above you. It's not really, I guess you could say real, but it's something that's above you, and it helps you to stay accountable and basically keep doing it for you. And third is, this is almost more or less the same thing, but picking someone in your family that is growing up and you can do it for. So maybe they don't see you now, but each family member you have, it could be a little sister, little cousin, every time they see you, there's always like a aspect of looking up to you that you can see, everyone kind of sees, just as little kids are always looking for someone to look up to, a role model, and basically you're doing it for that person, or that kid, and you continue to do it, like I said, whether they don't see it or not, they'll see it eventually. So basically, we'll hold that person always in mind, like the younger you, and that would be the third thing. But essentially, I want to give you these three options because after talking with this guy, like I mentioned, I realized that he didn't have either of those three, and he was just doing it, he's basically going one-on-one against his primal brain. Like I said, the more you're able to stack these things, like a community, and then you can do all three, or you can find other ones, but basically it has to be something that's above you. So things for health, like I said, I listed mine, but you have to find yours that go above you, and you have to really sit down and think about this. Sometimes, luckily for me, it came to me just as I was going through it, and I was like, okay, like I found my reasons why, to keep going. But essentially, if it doesn't come to you, you have to really dig deep, and like start to ask yourself questions of like, what is your goal, and write down the reasons why. And like, this is an exercise that helps just overall goal setting. But essentially for this, you have to have, your brain has to find reasons why to do something, because if you don't have enough reasons why to do something, you don't find enough reasons why not to do something. So you have to make that list bigger, and basically have to be strong reasons that will keep you going. Like I said, each day, especially with this health journey, there's gonna be many days where you want to just give up and just throw in the towel and be like, okay, whatever, I'll just go open a medication and just be another fucking slave in the system and just pay these guys and whatever it is, and just be another one. But basically, like I said, you have to stick to those reasons why, and you have to be at the forefront of your mind, almost like subconscious, like it's not going to let you budge. And the more that you stack, the better that this does work for you. And like, if you don't do this, you're basically fucked, because over a long period of time, I would say maybe a month max, you can do the one-on-one thing and like getting over some days. But eventually, if there's not reasons there, or like you can see it as like people in your corner, almost like maybe like a dance battle of like one side against the other. Like you have to basically get your reasons why is like on your side, as opposed to like the primal brain, which is kind of like a big scary monster. If it's just you on you, one-on-one, because that primal brain is like always thinking about those two things. And if you don't have severe discipline or something you're doing it for, then it's going to be very easy to lose that battle, and that's not something you want to do. And like I said, the easiest way to do it that I found is having a community that you do it for, or having people that you do it for. Community is actually easier because now with social media, you're able to just post and hold yourself accountable to people, and not many people want to do that. Everyone just hides on social media. I was talking about this today on my Instagram, and everyone just literally just hides and posts their highlights and like tries to like show, or not show, but like present themselves as, you know, always doing something, but when they're really not, they're just hiding 8% of what they're actually doing day to day. So stop being that person. Start using social media to inspire people. That's, you know, what we're here to do. Share our gifts to the world. Everyone has a gift, a purpose that we're here for. You're not just put here by accident. You know, you have a certain development of character, of abilities, of mindset, of so many different characteristics and quirks that you have as a person that no one else has. So whether you're, you know, watching this and going through your journey, or you're going through something else, you have to begin to put that on display and not be scared. You know, fear of judgment, or fear of, yeah, people, you know, saying something about you that's has to be put to the side. And once you put that, you start doing this more and more and breaking those barriers, you realize, you know, how much you've been missing in order to be able to share things with people. But yeah, more or less, I want to basically share that with you because it is super important. You have to find your why in whatever area, but especially health, because like I said, it's you know, you against the healthcare system. And like I mentioned, I realized that the healthcare system really did not care about you, and if you just throw in the towel, you're gonna basically be left with a life that's very, you know, miserable, and realizing that people, you know, don't actually care about you the way they thought you thought that they should, because it is a business at the end of the day. And what I'm here to do is, you know, share basically what I've learned, and I don't want you to go through it. So that's why I'm sharing all this, you know, insights and stuff that I've gone through. And if you are new to the channel, I believe I didn't mention this before, but you know, my name is Daniel, and for the past 8 years, I've been able to reverse my psoriasis and manage it drug-free, and basically not depend on the healthcare system. And that's basically what I teach here in terms of what I've learned, and also my clients that I work with. So if you did like the video, please like and subscribe, show some love, comments help as well, to, you know, help the channel grow. Also, you can find me on Instagram. You can ask me any question in terms of, you know, helping you find your why. I would love to do that. I think it's something that's actually intrigued me more and more as I've spoken to more people, and I've got more people to kind of approach and really show respect for what I'm doing, which is not the goal with this. Is basically to, like, you know, like I said, do it for my younger self, but also build a community of people that don't have to go through what I have to go through or went through with it. Because like I said, even now, more than ever, there's just more business as opposed to service in terms of the medical system. So the more you can stay away from it, the better, and the more you can depend on yourself, the better. And that's what I want to help you guys do. So much love. Thank you for staying till the end. If you did, hope you got some value. And if you know, want to hear more, each day I'll be uploading a video, so you can hit the bell notification and you'll get a notification when I upload something, reflection, stuff like that, that I feel can help you guys. Otherwise, all the best. Thanks again for staying till the end, and keep killing it.